Hey guys, this is the Casio Edifice EQS-A500, and what Casio has done with this watch is they've taken the classic sport chronograph and they've updated it for the 21st century.
Keep this frequency clear.
So what do I mean by that? Well, basically what Casio has done is they've taken the sport chronograph watch and they've computerized it. They've thrown out all the axioms where you have to have all these little tiny subdials, and one of them goes to 30 minutes and one of them counts the seconds, and your big second hand here does nothing unless you're using the chronograph. They've taken all that and they've thrown it out, and what they've made is a very functional and very readable timepiece, because instead of having to squint to see, okay, how many minutes am I on my timer or my stopwatch, these three huge illuminated hands here will tell you that on their own. I'll go stopwatch mode. You cannot do this on a Seiko or a Citizen. And what sets this watch apart from a lot of those is it has 5 motors controlling the hands. The only hands that are mechanically linked on this watch are the hour hand and this 24-hour dial up on top. The others, the date wheel, the minute hand, the second hand, this mode indicator, all of those have their own motors. So, what that means is you have a lot more flexibility and a lot more control. Now, for example, on a watch that had the minute hand and the hour hand linked, if you changed time zones or wanted to, do your world time, you'd have to wait for both of those hands to, wind their way around. Whereas on this watch, you go to world time, it's going to go to UTC, which is what that second hand is showing. And then your hour hand swings around and you're done, which is pretty cool. Okay, so just a rundown of the features. Right now I'm in timekeeping mode, which means this mode dial is showing the day of the week, and right now it's Friday, so you see that by that F. So I hit the mode button here, which is where it is typically on Casio's digital watches. We swing over to world time. Your second hand up here is pointing to UTC, which is the time zone that it's set to, and then after it indicates that, it starts actually showing the number of seconds, and the hour hand went to the appropriate setting as well. So that's world time. Hit it again, I'm in stopwatch mode. The hands will center themselves, but right now I need to reset it. I had it going before. Okay, so now we're in stopwatch mode, just hit start. And this is so cool. I mean, typically on a chronograph, if you're using this function, you have one little tiny second hand ticking away on the subdial, and you're not getting that real-time 1/20th of a second, 1/10th of a second readout. You don't see that until you hit stop, and then that fractional dial will show whatever the computer inside measured. But this is so cool. I mean, you're just seeing exactly what's happening. And here, to save battery power, it deactivated the second hand after a while. So now we're just getting the sweep of the minute hand showing the seconds, whereas the second hand was showing a live 1/20th of a second. It also has lap memory, 10 laps, and it'll show you the fastest lap. I haven't really gotten into that functionality yet, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I hit mode again, I go to timer. Let's go ahead and reset that too. I had it going. Okay, so now the timer is set to 10 minutes. And to change that, you just pop the crown out. You have to pop it out and then pull it out, it'll beep. And now, click, 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 you have control over that way. And I'll say functionally, the Achilles heel of this watch is fiddling with this crown when it's actually on your wrist to make these adjustments. It's very difficult. In fact, most times you'll just rip it off and do it that way. I think generally like 10 minutes is a decent setting to keep it on for a timer. So hopefully most times you won't have to make those kinds of adjustments. So I hit it again, we go to alarm. I believe I have it set for 7 o'clock, so it shows that time. If I hit this button, that second hand will toggle between on and off. So that's alarm on and that's alarm off. And then I hit mode again, it beeps twice and you're back in timekeeping mode. And then there's a little trick on this screen as well if you want to see what the battery level is. Hit this one, that second hand sweeps over. Let me zoom in and do it again. That second hand will show low, medium, or high. It's on high now, it's charged completely. So there you have that. Those are the functions. So why did I buy this watch when I already have all of these G-Shocks? Well, it's good to have a stainless steel watch for wearing to formal occasions, events, church, anything like that. The weight is nice, and let me just tell you, this is a beautiful watch. It really is. It's equal parts sporty and classy, I think. I'm not wild about this chrome strip going down the links. At least it's not too big. You know, I just prefer the classic Rolex Submariner style brushed links. I think chrome is a little flashy, maybe a little tacky, but other than that, it's beautiful. I'm a pretty skinny guy. I'm tall, but I'm real skinny. I've got skinny wrists. But even then, I think I took out 5 links. It fits me fine. It's very comfortable. And it has a low profile too. That's what really struck me about it. I'm a big fan of a lot of the MTG metal G-Shocks, but they were just too big. And this has a lot of that functionality in a package that's not, I mean, it's bigger than my Invicta was, my 8926A diver, but it's not overbearing, and you know, my wrist is pretty skinny. I think most people watching this would have no trouble at all with this watch. Quality, it's great. Everything is finished very well. The buttons and crown are finished well. The crown's a little finicky now. I think it'll get kind of broken in. You don't really have to use it too much in day-to-day operation. I think my biggest disappointment with the quality, the links just feel, you know, there's a little bit of a jiggle in them. They kind of feel lightweight, almost like they're hollow. Part of that might be the fact that the profile is so low. My Invicta had a little bit more weight, I think, in the band. But the actual watch itself is beautifully finished. It has a screw back. And if you look on the back too, there is the functionality of the pushers. It's actually engraved. Come on now. Well, okay, you're gonna have to take my word for it. Yeah, you see how that says stop, reset, or lap reset, and start, stop. It's engraved in the back, so that's a nice little detail. There are nicer models than this too. There's one in particular, I think it's called the EQS-A500. it uses the same module, and it looks very similar, but it has little carbon fiber tubes down here. It has an electronic compass built in. It has multiband 6, but it still doesn't have a sapphire or manufactured sapphire crystal, and it's still made in China, and it's $600. So I just could not bear myself to do that. I do miss the multiband on this because I have it on all my G-Shock, all my square Gs, except for my basic DW5600E. I paid $229 for this, and I think that's a good value considering the technology in here, especially that 5 motors and the fact that the hands auto center, and it's just so intuitive and so fun to use because there's so much happening on the screen, I guess, and it has so much functionality for an analog watch that you don't normally see, and it just looks incredible. I think got a lot of compliments on it. The red accents are nice, very comfortable. So there you have it. It's available on Amazon, on eBay. I'd recommend kind of shopping around and getting the best price. Anybody who collects watches or has a lot of watches and buys them knows that prices can vary wildly. I mean, look, I have an REI membership. I like REI, but this watch, REI had this watch for sale, I think for $270 or $250. I bought this on eBay brand new for $156. I mean, come on. So, yeah, shop around. There are a lot of Casio Edifices out there. This is just the one that I gravitated to. I just did my typical thing. I pull up tons and tons of pictures on Google Images or whatever, and I just kind of find one that I like, and then I start doing research on it and looking at comparable models. But this one's pretty cool. I'd say the runner-up was the, I don't know the model number, but Casio has a Bluetooth Edifice. It's a solar-powered Bluetooth Edifice, and that's unique because almost all of Casio's Bluetooth watches, almost all of them do not support solar, but that one did. And it had this units per hour dial that could be used to measure speed or something like that. But what killed me on that one is that it was not a 5-motor watch, and this is. And the Bluetooth functionality, I heard about bugs with, okay, you update your iPhone and suddenly the sync software doesn't work, and sometimes you don't want everything connected by Bluetooth. You just want something that's honest to its form and just does its own thing, and that's what this is with solar power and the accuracy of it. It kind of sucks not to have multiband, but you have to remember this is a quartz watch. This, I mean, if you want proof, I've had this watch for over a month. This one syncs every night. Look at that. It's about 5 seconds off over the span of maybe a month and a half. That's not anything to worry about. Heck, my Invicta would be like 5 minutes off every week, maybe more. It would just run so fast, and I'd have to set it all the time and push it back. But this thing, I don't think that's going to be a problem. Now, keep in mind, I do know the model number for this. There is a Japan market only version of this watch that has multiband 6. It is called the EQS-A500. Has multiband 6. The crown design is very slightly different. It has a tough movement. This one does not say tough movement, it says tough solar. And the back, instead of a screw down, it has 4 screws and a plate on the back. But it was $381. That's the best price I could find. It's not worth an over 50% price increase. to have multiband 6. It just was not worth that to me, and I'm glad I got this. So, there you have it. This is the Casio EQS-A500. Fantastic watch. Highly recommend it. Thanks.